I think we'll be fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's main event.
Where's the Friday?
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
On this blessed Friday, let us give thanks.
So, another Friday is upon us.
WTF, where's the Friday? I'm Rob Birdsey. Nice to have you all here with me. You can check us out on YouTube. That's Widowed, Trio, and Freedom. Widowed, I'm a widowed dad. Trio, I have 2 little boys. Freedom, I'm doing this to help us free our minds and maybe help you free your mind too. So I have a great guest today. This woman is an absolute go-getter and I'm super, super excited about it. McKell Shumway is her name, and just the way how she carries herself, you know she's going to do some great things in the world, and the future is bright. McKell, get right close to that microphone there.
Okay, groovy.
Yeah, you may be like, yeah, the bubbles, yep. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How is your day?
It's been going just dandy. How about yours?
Yeah, not too bad. We got everything going, and we have a new system that's been sort of getting used to, which is interesting. But either way, yeah. What's your major?
Interdisciplinary studies.
What are you studying then?
So what it is, it's combining a bunch of minors and making it one major. So I'm doing professional sales, business management, and sociology.
Yep, that'll do it. I changed. So I was doing interdisciplinary, but I changed it because the thing I didn't like about the interdisciplinary is there's 4 extra classes. That's a whole semester, right?
4 extra classes?
Yeah, you had for them, I suppose.
Oh yeah, just the basic
Bridging
classes
the gap.
in order to. I like it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. Then Craig Lewis, I had him in here last week actually. He's like, well, just go general studies and knock yourself out. I was like, all right. So there's only 1 class, and now I'm doing a minor in creative writing, minor in communications, and a minor in entrepreneur, and what other classes I want to do too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City. You need to be a bit close to that mic. Yeah. No, I know. It's like you've basically got to eat it. So you grew up in Salt Lake?
I did downtown.
Yeah. So you grew up with the religion. Is that a thing in your household?
Like half of my household.
Half of it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Is that like a mum and dad thing?
Let's see. So it's like some of my family members are. I am not religious, and neither is my older brother, but I like learning about world religions, which is why I wanted to go into sociology, because I love world religions.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's smart actually. I joined the church for my late wife, and that was basically, I mean, she needed it, so I was like, all right, sure. But she was an amazing person, so I was like, who cares, right? I think religions across the board are usually pretty good. You know what I mean? They create order where order is not around. So I figured it couldn't be a bad thing to acknowledge that. And then after a while, she sort of saw the way how I live, and then she decided to leave the church, which is like, oh, okay, you know. So it's a little bit like that. I didn't really mean to take it into a religious thing, but it's
I
good
don't
to
mind
see
it at
this.
all. I love talking about religion with people.
Okay, yeah, let's go. What's your main area on that then?
Oh, okay. So I believe that I'm not a religious person in any way, shape, or form, but I believe that religion brings a selflessness that some people don't have. It's a reason I believe that the Roman Empire actually fell is because they were more selfish, because they didn't have that religion to bring them together and make them selfless.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's a good thing. The way how I sort of look at it is, I've always chased crazy dreams, right? I've gone into like trying to race cars, running out of money, to trying to be an actor, flogged almost 10 years of that, you know what I mean? And that was the most 10 years I've ever had of not making any money. That was kind of hard. And, you know, like, and me still doing, I'm in communications now, and obviously, you know, I'm trying to do this and a few other things as well. I'm spinning plates. So I kind of feel like I live off a standard of know you do right. I feel like it's a coat of arms on my heart. No, I do right. Because I know when I'm being good. I know when I'm being bad. You know, you can feel it, right? But I think my totally an opinion. Some people don't have that drive to push to make other things happen, right? Or, you know, maybe they didn't and then they have kids and now it's all their kids. And so they have that sort of stuff. But for the average Joe, I think religion helps people focus on keeping order in their life. Basically what you just said, I'm sure.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So I know, so I don't know if it's, for me, it's not for me. Although, you know, I'll say prayers. I'll say prayers with my boys, you know, because it definitely calms their soul. You know what I mean? I can tell it makes a big difference. If we've all come home late at night and didn't do a prayer, then, you know, the kids kind of get a bit angry the next morning. Hey, Dad, you didn't do that. You know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. But my wife believed, you know. Do you believe in like a higher power or?
I do. I believe. So that's the one thing I love about world religion is all the different religions, they have different like higher powers, but they all kind of intermingle together and they mean like basically one person. Like it could just be different attributes of one person, which I think is super cool. But yes, I do believe in a higher power.
Nice. Do you pray?
Sometimes.
When you're down and out and you need it?
Sometimes. Well, if my aunt asks me to pray for my cousin, I will.
Absolutely.
I'll definitely pray for them.
Yeah, good energy out there is good to have. It's not a bad deal at all. Have you ever done psychedelics?
Nope.
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 Nope. That's a hard nope.
No.
Do you know anything about it?
About psychedelics?
Yeah.
I'm a walking psychedelic. I don't think I need it.
No, and that's fair. Do you meditate then?
I do meditate. I
Yeah.
love meditating.
Yeah.
So I was like, I love Buddhism, so because of the meditation and everything.
Right. No, I'm just going from what you know, like ketamine and things like that. People see visions through that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And that sort of grounds them in kind of like what a religion would do for people. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you don't. I don't know. You know,
Exactly.
I was down low at the bottom of a barrel, and it was like 2 months after my wife passed away. And someone said, "Hey, there's a retreat for ayahuasca. Do you wanna go?" And I've never talked about this actually, so here we are. That was tricky, you know what I mean? Because I went into it super prayerful, watched my diet and all sorts of things. Because I know it's an enlightening experience, but it's an absolute scary one. You know what I mean? And it's no joke. And some people do it for fun, which I will never understand. I don't know. Yeah, I tell you, so they call it like the God molecule, and if you want to speak to him, you do that, and there you are. Yeah, I had not so much visions, but I was able to speak to my wife, and her main message to me was, "No, you're enough. I chose you for many reasons, and the one reason is because I know you can carry these boys. I know you can teach what they need." So, you know, maybe it's frou-frou, maybe it's just an escape, but I don't know. It was kind of real. I left that place feeling full of love, and because I was kind of a bear with a sore thumb, and my kids, when I saw them, like the next day sort of thing, when I went to pick them up from friend's house, they were always walking on eggshells around me because I was a little scary, you know, and I'm not proud of it. Like it breaks my heart to even think about it. But they looked at me and they ran out, and as soon as they saw me, it's like there was a different aura around me, and they just crash tackled me to the ground, and all three of us were full of tears, just loving and hugging. You know what I mean? Yeah. And from that point onwards, it was like my cup was full and I could go. Like even just think about it now, it gets me kind of emotional, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's true, not true, whatever. I don't know.
But it's personal. It's
definitely
personal, and I believe if it's somebody might think it's foo-foo, but the other person it might be really real for them, and it's completely personal.
And it's the same as like meditation. So if you meditate like you do, hey, let's just take those headphones off that thing so it just doesn't block all of your view. You're a pretty woman. People should see that.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, where were we at there? To do meditation, And to do it right, like some people, they go in fasting and all that. Do you get right into that sort of stuff, or
Let's see. I haven't done the fasting part because I get hungry and I want to eat. So
Food's
I don't
good.
do that. But when I was in Japan, we did like a little meditation retreat, and it was a lot of fun because like the Buddhist monk, if you did not feel like you were fully meditating, he'd hit like you just like raise your hands and he would just hit you in the back with like a paddle. It was kind of fun.
wow?
It was actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
It was like trying to center you, like focus you back
bring you
in.
back, to ground
which
you.
was really interesting. It was a lot of fun actually.
And where was this at?
Japan.
Japan. What did you do over there?
I did a study abroad with SUU over
Okay.
in Japan because I wanted to. It was so much fun.
I like that. So you prayer meditated with the monks.
Oh yeah,
How cool is that?
it was a lot of fun actually.
What was the energy like? And what I mean by that is, have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have been,
Hawaii?
yes. Hawaii.
Yeah.
have
Do you notice when you were there, you jump off the plane and it's like the moment you touch the ground, you just feel like the energy is like you're just grounded.
Yeah.
Such a interesting feeling. I don't know why. I've traveled a little bit and I've never felt that anywhere else except for Hawaii. And I'm sure that for me it was probably more because I went there to get treatment for my wife. So it was more, I was definitely more focused on we're here for healing.
But it's like an ambiance.
It is
though.
a total
yeah, There's an
ambiance.
ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mahalo. That's a good place.
Yes, it is.
So that's the sort of energy that I'm sort of talking about. So when you prayed with the monks, was it kind of
It
like
was
that?
like calming and peaceful and just like seemed really focused in on healing and being calm and peaceful.
Yeah, I like that. The where else have you traveled? Because I know you've traveled a lot.
I have traveled a lot. So, just because I'm going to brag about the SUU study abroad for a minute. So, I've done Japan with Professor Eddie, and then I've done Ecuador. I went to Ecuador this last year, actually this summer, with Professor Scoresby, and that was a lot of fun as well. But I've also been to a lot of places. I've been to 5 of the 7 continents. So, I've been to India, and religion there is insane, and it's their entire, it's like what makes their culture, and so it's really cool to see how like religion and culture is the same thing for them.
Nice. I like that. What else did you did that, and you also did something in DC over the summer too, right?
I did an internship out in DC.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
I loved it. It was so much fun.
You got to hang with your brother too, right? He was there?
I did, so I got to hang out with my sister and my brother
Yeah, there you
and
go.
me. It was so much fun.
I love that place. I think it's so like I mean, even if I would say if you're a broke person in America and you can't really afford to do much or go anywhere in the world, go
Go
to
to
DC. Because I mean everything. I mean besides the accommodation, but all the museums are almost
Yeah.
they're free, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 3.
Yeah, and they're it's
Or
like
the Holocaust Museum, it's $1.
oh
so.
my goodness, man, that place cracked me up. Hey, that was so hard. That when you get to the end of it and
Oh,
that there's
I
a
had to quickly run through it because it was painful.
yeah, that was. I mean, that's. I think I spent. This is at this stage when I went to DC to the Holocaust Museum. I was. I mean, I was still like a real hard-nosed person. You know what I mean? Like life was. I never cried over anything, or you know, if it did, it must have been super huge. But man, when I went through that place, I just felt like I owed it credit to read the stories. And it broke me, man. It broke me so
breaks-
much.
it
And you get to the
breaks you.
end of it, there's that carriage with all those shoes.
I could not do that because I've been to Dachau in Germany, which is a concentration camp, and that was
Ouch.
not fun at all. It was like not fun because of like the heartbreak, but it was interesting to learn about like the history and like get to be in the place where millions of people suffered.
Yeah, but talk about that. Like, what was the experience? What did you feel like being there? What was to look around there? Was it drab? What was it like?
It was very gray, honestly. It was
Yeah.
like really gray and just like it felt like the ambiance was very like mournful and just like sorrowful because it's like so many people gave their lives here, which
Yeah.
is really sad. But it was cool to learn, like, because again, history is prone to repeat itself if you don't learn about it. So I think it's interesting because like we need to learn about it, and yes, the Germans are a little shameful about it, but they want people to know so that it doesn't repeat itself and that they never have to go through that again.
Yeah, it just goes to show on how much we can be led right? By media and stuff like that. Yeah. If you and like on the bigger scale, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the world, but I think we need to clean house.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a good thing to see. No, I don't want to touch on that too much. I like my life. I love raising my little boys, but no, it's seriously. It's like people. We're so easily led, and to see Germany go through that, that's a ripple that we should never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Especially, I mean, they almost. I mean, the statistics are crazy. So you've been there. You've done a whole ton of things, and okay. So how old are you now?
I'm almost 20.
You're almost 20. See what I'm saying, guys? This is why I think you're going to do huge things in life. You're so inquisitive, you go after it. And I think that's such a great place to be, you know, where most people at your age in this environment are all like, where's my man at? I need to have kids. You know, it's like, that is the scariest thing you could ever say, you know?
No, not me.
No. I mean, I don't think anyone's ready for that. And that's such a hard task. I mean, you know, I'm not going to touch too much on that, I suppose. But it's true, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Have you lost a lot of friends in that way?
Not, I wouldn't say lost them. It's just they chose the path that they thought was right for them, and I'm like, you know what? I will support you either way. Even if I think it's a little too soon. I'm like, I kind of want to get a career first before I consider anything, but I still support them and love them because it's what they chose, and I'm going to support them.
Yeah, and yeah, that's absolutely. But it's a lot, and you can do more with a life. I feel like in our 20s, we're still trying to work out really who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to get through all that kerfuffle is such an interesting process. By the time you hit 30, you're like, oh, now I know, and I can do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think you're going to be great in your 30s. So what's the main goal? How long until you graduate?
I graduate in the spring.
This spring?
I do. Yeah, this spring.
Oh, wow. You just went straight through that, didn't you?
I did.
Have you gotten everything out of this place that you wanted to?
So, not yet. I'm doing my graduate program here, actually. So.
Oh, so you're going to continue?
Yes, I am. So I have about 4 semesters left after this.
What's your graduate program in?
Master's of Business Administration. So, just MBA.
And then what are you going to do with that?
Great question. I have a few options I can do. I can do private equity. I could work at a lobbying firm or for a pharmaceutical company.
Ooh, interesting.
Lots of options.
I had some job offers from pharmaceutical companies to go work as a rep, and they offered a lot of money. Like, I mean, $300,000 plus bonuses. Well, it was 200 plus bonuses, which would have taken it up over 300,000.
Come on, it's a lot of money.
It's a ton of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money, but that's a ton of soul too.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun. I kind of love it.
Yeah?
So like Stryker, their company, they have an office in Salt Lake, but it's like a medical device company. And if I was to work for a company, I'd want to work for like a Stryker type company.
Okay, so what their message is, this is more, the one that I was talking about was wrapped around like actual medications and pushing medications, which I couldn't get on board with.
I mean, I couldn't really get on board with it, but in DC, I did help research and write some of the legislation for for the HELP committee, which is like the healthcare administration, which was.
So you got to see behind the scenes a little bit.
I did. Oh my gosh! Yes, I got behind the scenes a lot.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Was that fun?
It was so much fun because I thought like you always see like the face of politics, where it's like the senator, the representative, but you don't see like the behind the scenes, where it's like all the staffers and like you have different staffers for each like administration and committee, and then they all meet with the senator and they just tell him the ideas, what they've learned, and it's really interesting, really interesting.
Yeah, I dare say it would be like a bunch of people developing cliff notes to let the big man know what's going down, right?
Yeah, it was so cool to see.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun too. Also,
you definitely light up. That's where you need to be.
I love it. I'm hoping to work out in DC again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would you go there for a career?
Yeah, that's the goal. That is the goal. So I'm applying for another internship out there for either for a lobbying firm or for the CLF, which is the Congressional Leadership Fund.
Great. So let's talk about that for a second, just for people that want to hear how that process is. Where do you stay? Because DC is really expensive to live.
It's really expensive. So I applied for housing at the University of Utah. They have housing out there for their interns, and so I applied for housing out there. So I have a place out there again.
Wow.
So that's where I stayed with my siblings, which was a lot of fun.
So you guys were on the same place?
We were all in the same place. We were all on the
Ah.
same floor.
That's good. Are your siblings here, or are they?
So my sister's here, and then my brother attends the U.
Oh, and what do they do?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good luck, huh?
So let's see. So I have 3 brothers, because I got a big family.
Yeah.
So I got 3 older brothers, and then my younger sister, who I've convinced to come here, which is so fun. I love her being here. But let's see. Austin, what is he doing now? I think he's just doing business. He's changed his major like 3 times in the last 2 years. So I think he's just graduating like business management just so he can be done.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What is he going to push for something like that too, to be out there?
I don't know. He just took his GMAT yesterday. So he's trying to get into like not law school, business school at like a prestigious university. But he's going to try to work for like a high data consulting firm.
Yeah.
Like one of the top 10, which
That's way cool.
fingers crossed for him. Fingers crossed.
Man, shout out to your parents. You guys, they must have done some really good work with you guys. You're very well established in who you are as a person. I've always enjoyed the conversations that we've had. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's a really good thing. So what's your sister doing here?
My sister, what she's doing here, she's doing a dual major in criminal justice and economics.
Oh my
'Cause
goodness.
she's
Wow.
a genius.
Okay. And how old is she?
She's 18.
Okay. Wow. So you guys are all hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, and you'll be graduated out of your masters by what, 23?
21.
21.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your masters is going to be that quick.
Yeah. It's only a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm graduating right before I turn. I'm graduating this spring, right before I turn 20.
Did you?
And then-
I've had other people do masters and they took them 3 years. I don't know much about it, but
Well, because I've already done classes here, and because it's just a general's master's, it's a lot easier. So I
Yeah.
don't have. So it's
Wow.
just yeah.
I like that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm
You're
excited.
doing things that I didn't have that upbringing, so to even fathom this is pretty amazing. That's going to be amazing. So 21 and you're going to hit the ground and go.
Yep.
By the time you're 30, you're going to be very well established. You'll be moving and shaking for sure.
Hopefully, that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. So do you have a boyfriend or anything? What's the go there? Oh, that's touch and go. Okay, we won't touch on that. Let's move right. No, well, I mean, it's if it was a serious scenario, you'd be all about it, I'm sure. So let's just leave it at that, huh? No, it's tricky. Finding your way and having company it's not easy, right?
It's not easy.
Yeah, I get you. Tell me a little bit about the upbringing with your parents and what would they bring to the dinner table, or how would they create such free thinking minds?
So in my family, we've never been afraid to share our opinions and thoughts because we love having very intellectual discussions. So Thanksgiving dinners are always really, really fun. Not sarcastic at all. Really, really fun because we just have like those intellectual, really thought-provoking conversations. Our parents pushed. So my parents did not grow up with what I grew up with. And they wanted their kids to grow up with a better upbringing than they had. So they worked really hard to get where they are today. And they taught their kids to have a strong work ethic, to work hard, to always say yes, how you can help, always just be ready to help and be available. And so that was fun. So my parents pushed when COVID hit, my sister and I didn't go to high school because COVID hit right in my 9th grade year.
Oh wow!
Which is crazy to think about. But so I didn't go to high school, and Snow College came out with this accelerated online program, and they asked my sister and I to be like the guinea pigs of it, where you could get college credit, and all that credit transfers back to your high school and gets your high school diploma, but you also get your associates at the same time.
Wow.
So it's fun to say that I never went to high school, which I always made a joke of, oh yeah, I'm just not going to go to high school. Little did I know that was going to be reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, my parents just taught us to always work hard, have a strong work ethic, always say how you can help. And they've always pushed us to think and strive for higher education.
I like that. Did you play any sports?
I did cross country for a little bit.
Okay, so you're a bit of a runner.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, I can't.
I hate running.
I don't run unless there's a zombie chase me or something. I suppose. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. I mean, I work out and stuff, of course. Just not. I don't. Running is like the most boring thing, but I know for
hate
some
it so
people it's
much.
freeing their mind too. So.
Yeah, my sister loves running, and I'm
Wow.
like, more power to you. More power to you.
Yeah. And then teaching you the fundamentals, was it just more wrapped around like schoolwork then? But they would just push you guys pretty hard with that sort of stuff? Or?
No. So their rule was, we don't care what grade you get as long as you've tried. Like if you were trying, if you were like trying your best, actually trying to learn, then if you got a C, it's okay.
Yeah.
But they always like wanted us to strive to like push ourselves and like reach that higher goal, like have a goal in mind and work towards it. So they weren't academic, they're just more like building yourself. Like they wanted to build us up. They wanted us to know that it's okay to fail, because like if you reflect and know, I tried my best, or you know what, I could work harder, and here's where I can work harder. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. My kids, I encourage. I mean, we always have conversations and things. We always sit down at a table together, and I'm always asking them stuff. And I invite the same thing. You know, I love questions from them, but they get real curious about the world. And one of my boys, he's on a tear with the Bermuda Triangle right now. So we're delving into that.
I love the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, and it was at first it was funny too, because there's all like the mystique around it. Ooh, you know, and I was the same as a kid too. It was great. And then a couple of weeks have gone past, and then he's like, "Dad, you know what it's from, right?" I'm like, "No, what is?" And he's 9 years old. He's like, "Oh, it's because there's a glitch in the crust of the Earth, and we have now this. It's throwing all of the compasses out, and it's so it's like acting like a north and south pole in one hit, which you probably already know, and I'm sure everyone else does. So he says, because it's such a large area, planes just so slowly just start going in circles until they run out of fuel. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what's going on there, buddy. It's just, I found that to be interesting,
Yeah.
everything messing up with all the compasses and things, and yeah.
It's really interesting.
The light bulb for him though is like, he was so matter of fact, and I just think it's so fun to see him working. Like he's curious naturally. You know what I mean? Probably similar to someone like you. My wife was like that, my late wife. So I'm like, ooh, good, he's got her gene. That's good, we're safe.
Yeah, no, my parents also really put an emphasis on experiences. So that's why I've been so fortunate enough to travel, is
Yeah.
because they believe to their core that you learn the best from experiencing. So the reason I love history and politics and all these things, it's because I've been able to experience, like go to these places and experience like what it would have been like. And
Yeah.
It's been super interesting.
So you guys traveled a lot when you were kids too with your parents?
Yeah, whenever my father was working, my mom, she also taught us to be independent, but she was like, you know what, we're going to go on a road trip, and so we've been to all 50 states, and then
Love that.
we've traveled all over the world.
That's perfect. And with like, did your dad travel for work? What did they do for work?
So my dad started a company when he first got married. So he started this company called Cicero Group, which is based in Salt Lake. It's a very successful company.
Good.
And
Congratulations, Dad.
Yeah, she's done really well. And my mom, I love my mom. She actually went back to school when my sister was in kindergarten, because she's like, hey, I want to go back to school. I want to be a nurse. And so she became a nurse, worked at one of the best places to work at, straight out of nursing school. She worked at the Huntsman Cancer
Wow.
Institute,
Yeah.
which no recent nursing graduate gets that opportunity, and she got that straight out of the gate. And then 2 years later, she decided to return back to school and become a doctor. So now she's Dr. McKell Shumway, which is
Wow.
awesome. And she's just because she wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have to, but she wanted to because she wanted to help people. And so she's definitely a role model of, you know what, it's never too late in life to go back and do what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that she was so ambitious with. I mean, I don't know. I've changed so many things. I mean, I definitely. Let's face it. I mean, I was shooting from the hip many times, and I think me not knowing the failure that was ahead of me probably fueled the fact that I would just try for everything, you know. But I failed so many times, but I've learned so much, you know what I mean? And come to this point, I look at that now, and it's like, why not? Why not try for whatever you want, you know what I mean? Exactly. Life is so small, and it's so precious, and some people, they never get off the couch to realize that they could make a difference.
Yeah, my mom really instilled in us that you can sit around and do nothing and let life happen to you, or you can grab life by the horns and just go with it.
Yeah.
And, like, take care of it.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Shout out to your mum. That's amazing. And to be a doctor, whew, that's a lot. I looked into anesthesiologists for a while, and I was pretty gung ho about wanting to do that. And then a little voice said to me, you know what? Just go and interview some of them, or go and shadow them and see what I think about that. It's actually really cool. I think it would be a great job, but I think I'd get so bored it would drive me batty.
Yeah, no, I'd get so bored. I'd
Yeah.
get so bored.
And then I met 4 doctors that were doing it, and then you know, from and it was all age groups too, and 1 female. The young doctor, he was, you know, he'd tell me all about it, you know what I mean, and it was really cool. And then a middle-aged man that had been doing it for a while, he was a little pale, you know, a little chubby, oh yeah, we're just doing this, you know what I mean. And then I met this old guy. He was kind of coming to the end of his career. He was so overweight and grey and just, oh, we're doing this again. You know what I mean? And I looked at that and I was like, that's not my path, man. I blow my brains out now. I never want to do that.
I would never want to do that.
No, but to be a doctor, does she focus in on cancer or anything like that, or?
No, she's with pediatrics.
Oh yeah, even better. Yeah, great.
Which is,
yeah.
she's amazing with children.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my nieces love her, so.
Good. Yeah, shout out to mum. She seems like a really good role model.
Oh yeah, she's a great role model.
Yeah. What was so you traveled through the 50 states with your parents at a young age. Did your dad go with you guys?
Yes.
You guys were all a whole unit, yeah? Was it things like that? Would they, because what I'm trying to get at here is, I would put my kids in situations, and I do it all the time. Like if we're on the street and maybe we're at a parade, or maybe we're somewhere and there's a cop on the foot, you know what I mean? And I'll say to my boys, go up and shake his hand. And go say g'day and ask him how his day's going. You know, and my eldest, he always does the g'day thing, you know, because it's kind of funny, especially with that little American accent. G'day, what's going on? And, you know, it's fun to see them interact, you know what I mean, and they're not intimidated. If we go into the doctors and we're there for them, I say, do you know what you're here for, before we go into the room? Yeah, I think so. It's like, good, because you're going to tell him. What?
And I still have my mom do it. I'm like, Mom. Yeah, I still have my mom do it, but my parents, whenever we travel to a new country or like to a new airport, they'd always be like, all right, it's up to you to get us to our gate. It's up to you to find us to this place. So like they'd always have us take like the reins and guide where we're supposed to go.
Oh, I love that.
So it was a lot of fun. So like in the middle of Italy, we're all just figuring out where we're going. We're like, okay, so we know where, like, I'm really good at basing places off of like locations. I'm like, oh, I've seen that before, so I know exactly where I'm at and I know where to head. So I know how to navigate around several countries now because my parents growing up, they're like, okay, go ahead, lead us.
I love that. That's so smart. Yeah, I have like an inner compass for that sort of thing. I love traveling, and I love, like, I moved to LA. We were there for not even 3 months, you know, and being there, and my wife was like, hey, we're going to go to this place, we're going somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And she's like, you don't need me to look it up? I'm like, no, it's just over here. I show her through these bags. She's like, how do you do that? It's like, but I've traveled so much, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like inside of me, there's like a world map developing of where I've been. It's so cool to see that. And
it's really easy to compare, like, oh, I've been to this place and it's kind of laid out like this, so it's really easy to find my way.
Yeah, the grid system versus how they did it, and it's very similar. Yeah, I like that. That's so cool. You're very lucky to have that in your world. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
Not
any
really.
Curiosities? No? You're good? Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to touch on?
I don't really know what to touch on. I'm like,
Was there anything that we've touched on? Have you anything we should talk about in your world that we've not touched on? That people could learn from? Maybe not. Look at that.
I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up at the end of the hour. I just wanted to make sure we get, if you had any messages you want to put out there, you know what I mean? You're a very influential person, and I think you're going to do some great things.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're a hard worker. So it's a good lesson for everyone to sort of take out of it, you know, put you in those positions. Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And it could do with anything in the world. What makes the difference?
What makes the difference?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. What makes the difference? A willingness to learn, honestly. Like a willingness to learn. I mean, like, okay, I'm a huge nerd in history and politics apparently, but if we take history to example, like the Romans learned from the Greeks, and like that's how we got certain types of architecture, which I'm full of useless knowledge, and I love Greco-Roman architecture.
Yeah.
But
same.
like they learned from them, and so they took their ideas and built upon that. And then, like if you go with the Mongol Empire, they love Genghis Khan actually, but because of what he's done to the modern world. But like if you take Genghis Khan and like the Mongol Empire, like how quickly they adapted and learned to fit different situations. So like a willingness to learn and to continually learn.
I like that. I want to touch on the Mongols just for a second. Like Genghis Khan, what do you like about him the most? I love Genghis Khan. He's
It sounds
interesting.
horrible to say, but like I actually love Genghis Khan because I mean he influenced the world as we know it so much. I mean the reason we have international trade and international travel is because Genghis Khan, because he wanted to invade Japan.
Yeah.
And so he built ships to like export stuff and military personnel to Japan, but they failed twice. But then we built upon that and we're like, why don't we do international trading? I mean, he created a very successful Silk Road. He connected it all together. He made sure that those goods and those merchants were protected by giving them like certain credentials when they were traveling. So I think it's interesting. And like his adaptability to like, I mean, like he'd never seen a wall before, and he adapted to overtake those walls and overtake the village.
Yeah, I love it how once he created the wave of destruction that's
Mm-hmm.
coming for you if you want to stand in my way, it's right outside of town. He would travel to the town and sit down with them and say, hey, we're here. So do you want to come on board with me? And I will, and he was always like, from what I've read, he was extremely fair with making sure the wealth went out to everybody.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, when his like one of his best friends and his blood brother, when he like betrayed him, when he like eventually got captured, he killed the two men who betrayed his best friend because he's like, yeah, I'm not having that in the empire. He's like,
It's a
I'm
rot.
not having that. And so, he was like quick to forgive. So he's like, it's his best friend. I mean, like, were they rivals? Yes, but he's like, it's okay, I forgive you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, just kill me. So, but it's interesting because he was like kind of just. He was like a destroyer, but he was also kind of just in the way of like he united the Mongols because they're all different tribes. He united them under one flag, one name, which was the Mongol Empire.
Yeah, fair and just, I would say. Yeah, well, no, it was, I mean, I think we should have talked with that. We could have went down that rabbit hole for a hot minute because that's fun.
I was like, I could talk about that for hours.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Like,
I appreciate that
emperors,
insight.
I love talking
Yeah,
about
no,
them.
it's fun to see like just the rhythm throughout history. It's very similar, but just different in ways. And yeah, like Genghis Khan, man,
It's interesting.
yeah, he was very, very cool.
The senator, the senator Mitt Romney, he has a map and it has all of like the empires throughout the world and like where they were like massive and like where they died off. And it's really interesting because he's like, we can learn from this. Like, he's like, yeah, the United States is not going to be a massive empire for like forever. So like they all die off. They all have their time, which is really cool.
I love that. Yeah, you did. You actually, that's who you interned with, right? Mitt
Yes,
Romney. Yeah,
I did.
I forgot to talk about that. Yeah, that's so cool. I've liked watching his career. Actually, he's a very well mannered, level-headed person.
Yeah.
The way how he does things, he's definitely a long view sort of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could cut him off and he'll be like, okay, we could work this out.
Which is, he's one of the best senators, in my
Yeah,
opinion. In
he's
my
extremely
opinion.
fair.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. I like it. McKell, thanks for being here.
Thank
This
you for
has been
having
fun.
me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll cut this out now. We'll get into some more music and appreciate the time that we've had.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, YouTube. Stop.